Good morning. Welcome back. I'm Krista Benavides. This is Biz Day, New Mexico. Again, celebrating local business and organization that makes the land of enchantment enchanting. So this segment is brought to you in part by Cheese Bus Performance Solutions. Cheese Bus Performance Solutions works with businesses and organizations to reduce the cost of doing business caused by ineffective or inadequate communication. They do this by providing customized on-site classes, conference keynote presentations, breakout sessions, and much more. Schedule your free consultation today at cheesebusperformancesolutions.com or call 505-899-9130. My next guests, we have 3 guests for this segment, are Holly Wu, her daughter Brianna Wu, and Sandra Smith, all from Chinook Spirit Children's Academy. Welcome to the show, ladies.
Thank you.
Thank you.
So tell our listeners what Chinook Spirit Children's, I just love that name, Chinook Children's Spirit Academy is all about.
Chinook Spirit Children's Academy is a private kindergarten through 5th grade multi-age classroom. And what makes us unique is a curriculum that we've created called Life is Our Classroom. In addition to a full differentiated curriculum of math and literacy like you see everywhere, our emphasis is bringing life into our students and bringing our students to life. And so that means that we often take learning outside of the walls. We're very mobile. There's kind of 3 pieces to it. The first piece is the curriculum itself, the full curriculum. So students don't have to choose between music and art. We do them both, PE as well. Math, literacy, science, social studies. So the state standards are there. The second piece is a mindfulness piece, and you hear that more in education these days. And it's something we started 4 years ago for ourselves. I kind of thought as an educator you had to be private to do something like that. And now in retrospect, I realize that it's so simple. It's just tiny little shifts that you can do anywhere, public or private or charter setting. And so for us, we call that part of our day spirit time. And the third component is we go on field trips, and I use that word kind of loosely, but it's almost every week, and they're just unique, intimate little experiences because our school is small. And so the community is so generous to us. And the kids come alive in those opportunities. You get to see the kids, who they really are, way more than I would see in a classroom setting alone. And then once a month, the kids select a service project, a way to give back to the community.
It's amazing. I learned about your school several years ago, I think, when you were first starting. And the whole idea behind it is really the way I summarized it, and tell me if this is accurate, that whole idea of bringing back what was good and effective about the one-room schoolhouse.
Yes, I think that also adds to the nutshell, very much so. It's a small, intimate setting. The kids know and support each other. They know and appreciate and respect each other's growth areas and strengths.
So give folks your contact information in case they're already thinking about, encouraging their grandkids to go there or their own children, or just want to share with somebody that they know who has children that could benefit from that kind of a learning environment.
We'd love to talk with anyone who's interested more at 505-850-7916. Or our website has a plethora of information, hopefully organized conveniently for you at chinookspirit.org, and that's CHINOOK spirit.org.
Excellent. Thank you so much. So, Sandra, why don't you share with us what your experience has been with working with Holly and this great idea of just fostering education from all different areas of really preparing our children for being responsible, contributing members of society as they become adults?
Well, in around 2000, I sort of got on my soapbox of, I have a lot of experience in early childhood. I have a counseling degree, and I put together a book called Nurturing Child Spirit. And I didn't know Holly yet. when I did that. But I knew then that we have to build from the ground up, that we had to start focusing in our schools on the social emotional wellness of our children first. And that wasn't even heard of, 15, 20 years ago. So I started getting on my soapbox on that. And then I had a wonderful experience of meeting Holly. And so the program that I had put together, we call it SAI, or the Secrets of Advanced Intervention. Holly and I just put our heads together and was like, wow, what Holly is doing and what Chinook Spirit was just beginning to create, just the school was just an idea at that time, is exactly what every school needed to be, in my, humble expert opinion at that point, on what I was seeing and what was going on in schools, all over the country. So Holly and I have been working together. I've been not only consulting with her, but I have to say that I learn as much from Holly as she ever learns from me. But also I've been excited to be involved now in our sustainability campaign for Chinook Spirit, because Chinook Spirit's a nonprofit, and because not only do we want Chinook Spirit to go on and on and on to serve more and more kids, but Holly has a way of sharing on a weekly basis some of the tools that she uses in Life as Our Classroom with other teachers and with counselors. So, they could get a weekly inspiration that they can use in their classrooms to make their public school programs more of Life is Our Classroom. So I love that not only are we working to bring in funds for the school, but we're also working to be able to share this concept with other schools, which is a very generous thing for Chinook to do, I think.
Absolutely. And I think that speaks to the idea of abundance. I mean, we hear about that as, I think, the latest buzzword, right? But for people to actually internalize that and actually live it is a completely, at least I found, a completely different story. And, because there's competition, or the people think, oh, I'm not going to share X, Y, and Z because it's going, it'll take from me. But the idea that, Holly has, the school that is her heart and soul and her baby, and, being able to give her heart to her students and the parents and so forth and the community, but then to share that with other teachers, with other educators, whether they're in her school or not, is just really commendable. And I thank you for that, because the reality is, if we don't pull together, all of us that are responsible for the little people in our worlds, we're not going to make the world a better place. And that's really what it's about, in my opinion.
I wish I had known those things that I know now. I wish I had known it when I was a public school teacher. I'm super happy that we started Chinook Spirit, but I could have done it in my regular classroom. And so that's who we're trying to reach, those teachers and parents, so that we can share just little shifts and ways of keeping kids kind. They're good people from the start, and that's what we teach the kids, and that's one of the shifts. But, if we can keep the pressure off of the kids, and if we can let them play and let them play unstructured,
right,
and let them solve their own problems and ask adults for help. The word tattling never comes into the community because it's asking for help with the situation. There's just tiny little shifts that make a big difference in, as Sandra mentioned, meeting the social emotional needs proactively and keeping things friendly.
Absolutely. Well, listeners, if you're just tuning in, my guests for this second segment are Holly Wu and Sandra Smith with Chinook Spirit Children's Academy. And they were just sharing some of not only their philosophy, but their approach to early childhood education. And they actually have a special guest with them. I introduced her at the beginning of the segment. And it is not only the daughter of Holly who founded the school, but she's also a student at Chinook. And this is Brianna. So hi, Brianna. Say hi to everybody.
Hi.
So tell our listeners what you love about this school that your mom founded and that you get to go to.
I love how kind the kids are. And I love spirit time because it really clears your mind when you have busy things going on.
Spirit mind. Tell us what that spirit time, tell us what that's about. Because maybe some adults out there, I bet we could use it too.
So first 5 minutes you meditate, and then second 5 minutes you can get something like a book or something to draw. And then the next 5 minutes, Miss Christie does a lesson or reads a book.
How great. So you get a chance to just calm your mind down and get yourself in a place where you're ready to learn. Is that how it works?
Mm-hmm.
That sounds great. And so tell us, your mom mentioned the field trips that you all take every week. So what's been your favorite one from this year?
I think going into a plane.
An actual plane?
Yeah.
Oh, tell us a little bit about that.
So we went to the airport, and then they drove us around and to the plane, and we got to look around, and we got to press buttons because they haven't flown it in a long time. So
how exciting. That's great. Well, thank you so much for sharing with us, Brianna. You'll have to come back sometime and tell us more about what you're learning over there. Mm-hmm. So you can just see, I mean, hopefully you heard it in her voice, but Brianna's just glowing. And of course, her mom and Sandra are too. But I think that's something that is important to see in children as they're learning and just being kids from day to day. I mean, I know my kids, they're little, they're 7 and 4. And one of the things that I encourage them to do is to have fun, and they remind me of that. And that's why I asked Brianna to share what spirit time is, because I think as adults, I think we can get too wrapped up in what we're doing in our adult lives that we forget that there's still a kid inside of us, and to be creative and to have fun and so forth. And I often say to myself, or I recognize that I'm fun challenged because I'm so focused and trying to get things accomplished. And sometimes the accomplishment is in those small moments of just taking time out to see the butterflies or go see an airplane, etc. So we have a couple of minutes left in this segment. So what additional thoughts would you like to share about this great place?
Well, to build on what Brianna said and about these what so-called field trips, because what's really happening in my observation of what Holly's doing here is the teachers are also observing the children when they're living real life. Going on that plane or going to the museum or even just going to the park, whatever it is, they're being themselves. And so then the teachers can understand the children better and then support them in whatever, not only what excitement and their gifts support that, but then once they get back to the classroom, help them, support them in challenges that they see that don't have to play out in the classroom like they typically do.
That's a great point. That's a really great point. Because observation, I find that when working with my clients, just observing, people doing a role play setting, role play exercise or something like that tells me a lot about what's happening in the workplace. And so then I can customize. And so it sounds like that's exactly what's going on in the classroom as well.
Kids keep you present and like to piggyback on what you were saying, Krista, and we encourage them to share their joy. And that's what hopefully you heard in Brianna's voice. And that's part of the service orientation of the school. What's near and dear to your heart, and we care for ourselves so that we can care for others. So I would just love that message to get out. I do have a promotion. Should I share that?
Well, let me get it from you because we have just a few seconds left in the segment, but I will make sure to share it in the wrap-up.
Thank you.
Well, folks, this was Holly Wu and Sandra Smith and Brianna Wu from Chinook Spirit Children's Academy, and you can contact them for more information at 505-850-7916. I'm Krista Benavides. It's Biz Day New Mexico here on 1050 KTBL and 1050talk.com. I'll be right back.